What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Well, welcome to the podcast, but the Watchtower podcast, the non-Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower podcast. This is episode 238, and we're going to be talking about the smell of death. And I'm already messing up my intro and tripping over my words and stuff. It's just been absolutely crazy today, to say the least. But yeah, welcome in. And if this is your first time here, this is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We get together and we watch for the signs of the return of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We don't know exactly when he's coming, but we will know the signs of his return, or the season of his return, I should say, from the signs that we're seeing, the construction of the Antichrist beast system, the events unfolding in front of us that seem to be pointing towards prophetic events unfolding, which will happen post-rapture into the day of the Lord. And as we watch these things, it shows just how quickly we're moving, especially in the past, 72 hours. It's been absolute bedlam, as I put in my Telegram post. It's been absolute insanity what's been happening in the past, just, again, couple days of what's going on. So we're going to try and cover as many of these things as we can. There's some stuff that I was planning on talking about tonight that we're not going to be able to get to, so I'll have to save those for another time. But yeah, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. And so yes, the title of it, as you can see, is not exactly fun to say the least. It's not the most uplifting title, I guess you could say, but ultimately this is really what's going on. We're seeing many things unfolding right now that are involving or are preparing for death. And so the best way I can put it is I'm smelling the stench of death right around the corner. And so the smell of death is the title of tonight. And so we're going to be talking about some stuff regarding the aftermath of the hurricane that happened. Some other events that are unfolding at the same time when it comes to similar stuff. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the dock workers strike, which there's more to that than people realize. And there's going to be effects of it if it proceeds. We don't want to talk like it's a done deal or not that it's just going to, but still, if it proceeds the way that it is, there's going to be some effects on that. We got what the stuff that's going on in the Middle East, and the escalation that's going on there. Plus, there's a proposed constitutional amendment that they want to add, where it says in the case of a representative being murdered, assassinated, or a mass casualty event, they can instantly replace them, which that's very curious, along with a partnership of FEMA and the NFL when it comes to mass casualty events. Plus, we've got some development when it comes to Palantir moving in further when it comes to AI targeting for military and other partnerships and stuff. So there is a lot of stuff going on, to say the least. And again, it all kind of revolves around death. So this is not necessarily going to be a happy one. I already have people that complain to me that I don't make things happy as it is, but I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to sugarcoat things. We're just going to go at it. So yeah, we got some very interesting stuff to talk about tonight. So thank you guys for joining me today. All right, let's see how y'all are doing in the chat over here. Let's see. We're starting right here with Mindy Grant. One day closer. Where's your big pink hand? Where's Mindy's big pink hand? I'm used to seeing the big pink hand. I don't see it on here. That's a rarity. We usually don't. Good to see you though, Mindy. Thanks for being here. Glad you're here, and hopefully you're doing all right tonight. Let's see. We got Coco Bear. She's got the virtual pizza. So if you guys need some snacks, go see Coco in the back. She's got them. We got Maya as well with her ducks. I'm sure she's all lined up with her ducks right now watching. Good to see you, Maya. Thanks for being here. We got Nancy West as well. Coco will sneak some pineapple into your talking. You guys are ridiculous. You know that. Good to see you, Nancy. Thanks for being here. And hopefully you're doing all right. Thanks for being here. We got Not of This World as well, doing what he does. So please be nice to my tools. Derek Otto is here. Good to see you, Derek. Talking about skunks and stuff. Moleys, muleys, whitetail. Man, you guys talk about the weirdest things in the chat. Not going to lie. Jesse is here. Good to see you, Jesse. You got the doggo in the picture. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. The Peanut Gallery is here alive with fire and spunk going on. So good to see you, Stephanie. Thanks for being here. We got Kelly Schultz as well. The dog picture. I love the dog pictures, man. It's great. Good to see you, Kelly. Thanks for being here. My mom is here saying hello to everybody. So please say hello to my mom. Good to see you, Mom. Let's see. What's up, Asset? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Y'all are trouble. That's for sure. Let's see who else we got in the chat here. We got Richard. Richard is here. Good to see you, Richard. Hopefully you're doing all right. Thanks for spending your Tuesday here with me. Jojo, by his grace as well. Hello, heathenic booties. Bunch of heathens out there. Bunch of heathens. We got Derek, or not Derek, Gerard. Sorry, Derek was above you. Gerard, what's going on with the devious smile? You're planning something, man. Good to see you. Nicole Sterling. Good to see you, Nicole. Glad you had a safe trip back. Hopefully you're doing all right. Patricia is here as well. Patricia Menard, good to see you. Let's see. We got Janet Epler. Good to see you, Janet. Our God is awesome. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. We got Joseph Pena. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Glad you're here. Glad you're doing all right. Mountain Skies is here as well. We got Trace. Trace is in the house. We got Gretchen P. Gretchen P is here. Sandy Valenote or Valenote. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Either way, good to see you, Sandy. Thanks for being here. If I can find one more. We got Bobby and King of Hugo Mundo. Oh, it's time. Yes. Nirdo Anjo as well. Jacques is here as well. Jules62. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. If I don't pick you out, it's not that I don't like you. It's just we've got a lot to get to tonight, and I don't want to be here forever. I'm sure you guys don't either. So let's go ahead and get to some housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
No, thank you. Sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right, so housekeeping, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, it's not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. That's why we do this. And with how the AI algorithm works and all that stupid stuff that we don't like, liking, sharing, and subscribing does help it get out there. And ultimately, we want to reach those who have questions, those who are lost, and those who need Jesus Christ. So if you guys can do me a solid and like, share, subscribe, it does help reach those people. Also, if you guys can follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. Of course, we are live streaming, multi-streaming to YouTube, Rumble, and the website. But if I get booted off YouTube, we'll be back up live streaming over on Rumble. So make sure you guys follow me there. Odyssey is an emergency platform there, just in case things go super south, break in case of emergency type of thing. If you have an account, you might as well follow me there, just in case. There's nothing exclusive. I don't do any of that paywall stuff or anything like that. So it's just there for emergencies. And then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I'll throw some stuff up on Telegram to keep everybody up to date. Like I posted yesterday because I forgot to announce it. I was on with Vindog, so I posted that link in the Telegram. So for those who are in Telegram, you know what's up. So make sure you guys follow me there if you have that. Of course, we got the one-stop shop, WretchedWatchmen.com official website. That's the place to go for announcements and everything like that. If I don't announce anything, either video or even Telegram, I'll try and update the website the best I can. So make sure you guys follow me on there. Tomorrow is the first of the month. First Wednesday of the month, I should say. Today is the first of the month, but tomorrow's the first Wednesday of the month, which means we have another episode of the Bobblehead Adventures, which will be out. So, yeah, it's just kind of a little break, a little time to just kind of pause all the bad stuff, all the crazy stuff, all the insanity going on in the world, and just kind of take 5 minutes to kind of laugh, have some fun and stuff like that. So, yeah, that'll be out noon Central tomorrow. So make sure you guys check that out when it's out. And last but not least, if you guys would like to support what I do, support this channel and everything, and all that jazz, I got donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, and Give, Send, Go. My channel is not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views. I'm not in partnership with anything. I don't sell anything. I don't do any of that type of stuff. So if you guys would like to help me keep this going and allow me to keep doing what I'm doing, those links are down below. And I truly appreciate your guys' supports and your donations and your prayers and encouragement and all that stuff. So thank you guys for helping me to do this. I'm truly blessed for sure. So thank you. All right. That's all we got for housekeeping. You guys ready to get into this? You guys ready to do this stuff? It's crazy, man. Where do we want to start? I've got so much stuff here. It's absolutely nuts where we want to go. So yeah, it's let's just go ahead and do what we normally do. Let's start Tuesdays. We take a look at what's going on when it comes to the the Wretched Weather Report. We kind of keep track of what's going on with the trends of birth pains, natural events, and all that type of stuff. So let's go ahead and start here like we normally do. Wretched Weather Report.
Oh, this ain't good.
All right. So, Wretched Weather Report, what we do is we kind of keep track of the trends when it comes to what's going on with earthquakes and volcanoes and these types of things. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not any of that jazz, but I think it's good to keep track because, as we know, these natural events do play a part in the birth pains of what's going on in the end times, and they will increase in size and frequency as we continue to get closer to what's going on. And so we just kind of keep track. As far as earthquakes, we take a look at the 5.5 magnitude and up. And so this past week, we had a 5.5 in Kushiro, Japan, a 6.3 in Mauritius Reunion, which is east of Madagascar, off the coast of Madagascar. Then there's a 5.9 in Petropavlovsk, Chomsky, or Kamchatsky, Russia. Then there's a 6.1 in Laquica, something like that, East Timor, me and the pronunciation. Then we had a big one not too long ago, just like a couple hours ago. There's a 6.6 in Nihafutanga, and then a 5.9 in Pangoniban, Philippines. Pangoniban. It sounds like the lipstick for men from Friends, Joey Ichiban. Anyways, if you don't, you probably are like, what on earth is he talking about? Anyways, we're just going to move on. 5.9 over there in Pangoniban, Philippines. Okay. As far as volcanoes, we got 48 volcanoes actively erupting around the world. We're up one from last week, still sitting in that 44 to 48 range. We have 6 in North America, 6 in South America, 2 in Europe, 3 in Antarctica, 4 in Africa, 18 in Asia, and 9 in Oceania. So that's what we got when it comes to the volcanoes and all the stuff going on over there. So, all right. Let's go ahead and get into what's going on with the Hurricane Helene aftermath stuff, because this definitely is, I have a feeling this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a big problem for sure. And so I'm sure a lot of you have been paying attention to some extent. You've seen some of the damage. You've seen, heard some of the stuff that's going on with everything that's going on when it comes to this. So Hurricane Helene smashed through Florida and made its way up into different regions of Georgia and Tennessee and North Carolina and all that type of stuff. And it's done a lot of damage, to say the least, when it comes to this. Now, first off, before I go any further, I find it fascinating that if you go back, I think it was 1957, there was also a Hurricane Helene who hit the same spot on the same date that this one hit, which is fascinating. And if you ever look at the radar stuff, I don't have anything to show, but if you ever look at the radar stuff, you can see that this thing just kind of formed out of the blue unnaturally, for sure. So I'm on the team. This was manufactured, and yes, they absolutely have the ability to manufacture these things, because I know some people don't necessarily believe in manufactured weather. They absolutely can do it, especially since you go back to Lyndon B. Johnson when he made a speech, those who control the weather control the people. And that wasn't a hypothesis or an idea. That was we're telling you what we are doing. And so that should tell us everything we need to know. So I absolutely believe this thing was manufactured. Now, there is some stuff going on, conversations and ideas regarding lithium fields in North Carolina and stuff like that. I've looked into it. I understand where people are coming from it. Not sure I'm on the same train of believing that that's really what's going on, especially because of the damage that was done. It's going to take them forever to even get anything set up because they have to make those things. So that would be an extremely long play. Maybe it is. I don't know. But as of right now, I haven't seen anything that says I'm on that train of believing that it's for lithium fields. But one of the things that did come from it is it wiped out the supply road through there, which when we get to the dock stuff, I'll tell you how that actually kind of plays a part in that. So basically, it just absolutely wiped out everywhere from Tennessee to North Carolina. It's an absolute disaster. Underwater, towns completely gone, wiped off the map. There's actual towns that no longer exist there anymore. And so I've got some pictures of what's going on with this. This is anywhere from Tennessee to North Carolina, these little towns and stuff like that. You can kind of see what's going on. Completely underwater, bridges gone. There's some towns that all the bridges to them have been wiped out and people are trapped in a little island, no way in and no way out, to say the least. Homes gone, business is gone, and all that. Here's another thing that you guys can see. You can see a before and after of what that used to look like and what it looks like now. Completely gone. Bridges absolutely devastated, taken away. Not just underwater, but it actually moved in a bunch of gravel and dirt and sand, and the water left, receded, and now buildings are completely buried underneath sand, and all this type of stuff. So you can see the damage that's going on. I'll show you this too. I got a video of a place this is one of the towns that's gone. Like the road leads to a dead end. It doesn't exist anymore. So check this out. Just completely gone. You know how many lives are completely changed forever because of this? The distance that's been done, or the distance of this damage that's been done on this. I'm also seeing reports. I can't verify, but I tend to lean in the direction that this is actually happening. So again, grain of salt. I'm not saying this is 100% true, so just throwing it out there. I've seen reports that FEMA is not allowing responders, volunteer responders, and supply trucks and stuff to go through, basically saying that if you have anything like that, you are required to drop it off at their specific FEMA zones, which FEMA is not even going in there to rescue anybody as well. I've seen a report from a guy who was rescuing people in his helicopter, and they said he would be arrested if he went back into the region, which his co-pilot was then stuck in a place where he picked a woman up and he didn't have enough room for everybody. So his co-pilot stayed behind, so he couldn't go and get him. I've seen reports that volunteer responders with supplies, just, guys with pickup trucks that are trying to take supplies into some of these places, they're getting their tires slashed. So they're not able to go any further to go and help anybody in that case. And again, FEMA is setting up zones on the outsides of these places, not actually going in there. And some of the other stuff that I'm hearing is National Guard, Tennessee and North Carolina National Guard. They've got about a total of 5 people that are helping with all of this stuff, because all of the other National Guard have been deployed to the Middle East. So the National Guard's not even there to help, which, again, we start getting into the thing of, do they really help anyways? As we know, FEMA and the National Guard and anybody from the government, they're not really going to help you in any type of way either. They're probably going to stunt anything. The best help that people can get are volunteers going in with their trucks and boats and everything like that, but they're keeping all of those people out. So again, it's kind of a catch-22 when it comes to that situation on that. And then we're getting reports that there's no money for the help, for helping this situation, for supplies, for reconstruction, for anything, because all of the money that should be going to help our own backyard, our own Americans and whatnot, has all been sent to Ukraine and Israel. And I know that's probably going to offend some people, because it's like, well, we need to support Israel. And I'm going, we need to support our own people in this case. I know That's again going to hurt some feelings. That's fine. But again, if we need to clean up our own room before we start trying to go and clean up everything else. So all the money that should be here to help us is in Ukraine and Israel at the moment. So we've got no National Guard to help because they're all in the Middle East. We've got no money to use to repair this stuff because it's in two places outside of our own country. FEMA is not helping in any type of way, and they're actually restricting people from helping. We've got unknown amounts of deaths because there's still so much water and damage that it's going to take months, to say the least, to clear everything out and find out who's actually dead, find the bodies, and all this as well. So, and I'm hearing reports that one of the main roads that leads from the northeast coast down into the south, it's going to take more than a year to restore that road, to just get one road to pass, that main road to pass through there. I don't remember the name of the highway, but it's going to take at least a year. And if they continue to push along no money and restrictions on being able to help, then it's probably going to take even longer. So this is a situation where we've got citizens out there who are trying their best to help, and they're trying to get around the authorities. We literally have smugglers, citizen smugglers that are going into these zones to try and help people out because FEMA is trying to keep them out. So that should tell you everything as far as that goes. So at this moment in time, be praying heavily for the people. Be praying heavily for the people. And as we continue to go through this, there's still many other topics that we gotta talk about when it comes to this stuff. As we go through this is a manufactured dismantling of the United States that's going on right now. And this is one of those cases. You have destroyed a very large portion of the United States. You have wrecked the lives of people, for those who are still alive, for years to come. You have mentally scarred them for years to come. You are they're putting their authoritative boot on the necks of those who are trying to help their fellow Americans, their fellow people, as we're told to do. It's not only our duty as Americans, but it's our duty as Christians to do that as well. And this also affects supply chain issues. Like I said, roads lead to nowhere or are underwater or bridges don't exist. The main supply road will take over a year to get it replaced. But to go along with that, adding to all of this at the same time, keep that in mind, the same time this took place, we have a dock workers strike that hit. A dock workers strike. Basically, everywhere from Maine to Texas, the East Coast, is at a halt right now, is completely stalled. No supplies as of right now. They are officially on strike. So we can see here, dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas began walking picket lines early Tuesday. They literally started midnight of Tuesday. And a strike over wages and automation that could reignite inflation and cause shortages of goods if it goes on for more than a few weeks. The contract between the ports and about 45,000 members, I'm hearing that it's more 47,000, of the International Longshoremen's Association expired at midnight. And even though progress was reported in talks on Monday, the workers went on strike. A strike affecting 36 ports is the first by the union since 1977. Says workers began picketing at the port of Philadelphia shortly after midnight, walking in a circle at a rail crossing outside the port and chanting "No work without a fair contract." Which, if you know anything about these guys, they make roughly anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000 a year. Just keep that in mind. Look at how many people are barely making it, and look at what they're making. Interesting. The union had message boards on the side of the trucks reading "Automation hurts families." ILA, which is the International Longshoremen's Association, stands for job protection. Goes on to say the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents the ports, said Monday evening that both sides had moved off their previous wage offers. But when picket lines went up just after midnight, it was apparent that no deal had been reached. The union's opening offer in the talks was for 77% pay raise over the 6-year life of the contract, with President Harold Daggett saying it's necessary to make up for inflation and years of small raises. We will get to Daggett here in a second. ILA members make a base salary of about $81,000 per year, but some can pull in over $200,000 annually with large amounts of overtime. But Monday evening, the Alliance said it had increased its offer to 50% raises over 6 years, and it pledged to keep limits on automation in place from the old contract. The union wants a complete ban on automation. It wasn't clear just how far apart both sides are. So with this, I'll just tell you straight up, this has nothing to do with wages. This has nothing to do with automation. This is entirely manufactured. And I'll show you some stuff of why that is. So let's just go here. At the same time that Helene annihilated all what it did in that area, destroying all the roads, the supply roads and everything, to add on to that, now the supplies won't even be coming in. Food won't be coming in. Construction supplies won't be coming in. All these products that are needed to rebuild as well as take care of these people will no longer be coming in because of what's going on with this. So we've got a double whammy when it comes to supply chain as well as what's going on with the hurricane at the same time. So again, call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. I don't believe in coincidence. Also, when it comes to unions, I am one of those people that I am 100% completely against. I've been for my entire life, and that's never going to change, against unions. They are a complete sham. It's like homeowners associations. It's one giant con job. And through the research that I've done when it comes to unions, and I've looked at unions for a long time, usually unions get infiltrated or are started from mafia organizations. Literally mobsters run these things. And it's the same case of the ILA that we got going on here. Let's take a look, shall we? This is coming from July 28th of 2004. Union big busted. A powerful waterfront union official has been nabbed on extortion charges for allegedly teaming up with the mob to try and force his way into top positions with the International Longshoremen's Association. Hey, look who it is. Harold Daggett. Didn't we just read something about Harold Daggett? That's right. He's now the president of the ILA. Interesting. Harold Daggett, 58, an alleged Genovese crime family associate, was accused of conspiring to shake down the ILA International's president. Daggett rakes in more than $460,000 a year as an assistant general organizer of the ILA International and president of its New Jersey local. That was in 2004. He makes more now. I'll show that just in a second. Investigators arrested him at his lavish home in Sparta, New Jersey yesterday. He was released on $350,000 bail in Brooklyn federal court. The feds say that the Genovese crime family made a push to line up Daggett as head of the ILA in 1999 as successor to President John Bowers. A veiled threat was delivered to Bowers during a meeting with a Genovese soldier, the feds claim. In testimony before the Waterfront Commission in 2003, Bowers quoted a wise guy as telling him, "We hope you stay forever, but if you ever leave, I would kill to see Harold Daggett become president." While Daggett never landed the top ILA job, he did now. A federal indictment charges that he teamed up with the mob to land his position as an assistant general organizer. So before we go further, we can see that we've got some connections here. Not only the ILA to mob going all the way back to 1999, but we also have connections of Daggett to the mobsters as well. Let's keep going. Let's go to a different article regarding this. Blue collar credentials. Mr. Daggett is a figure whose long union career has been shrouded in controversy, a third-generation ILA member. The longshoreman has worked for the union for 57 years, becoming the international president in July of 2011. So he's been there for a while. Despite his eminent blue-collar credentials, the union baron earned $728,000 last year from the ILA, plus another $173,000 as president emeritus of a local union branch. Politico reported. Daggett previously owned a 76-foot yacht called the Obsession that has been spotted by his members riding in a Bentley, according to the New York Times. This dude does not get to the position that he's in and have all of this stuff and all this money without having connections to those who truly run the union, which is the mob. And he's taking orders from the mob, which means this has nothing to do with wage increase. This has nothing to do with automation. This has everything to do with whoever is telling him what to do. Let's keep going, though. It says the Justice Department, which has reportedly lost 2 cases against Mr. Daggett. So the Justice Department lost 2 cases. You guys think that's an accident? You guys think he's innocent? I don't think so. Has accused him of being an associate of the Genovese crime family, one of the infamous 5 families of the U.S. Mafia. Charged with racketeering in 2005, Mr. Daggett took the witness stand and portrayed himself as a mob target, despite evidence against him from a turncoat mafia enforcer saying he was under the mob's control, the New York Times reported. During the trial, one of Mr. Daggett's co-defendants, a renowned mobster named Lawrence Reese, disappeared. His decomposing body was found in the trunk of a car outside a New Jersey diner several weeks later, with the killing still unsolved. Guys, this isn't a movie. This isn't a plot of a TV show. This is real. The mafia exists, and they run stuff like this, and they have people taken out. They blackmail judges. They threaten the families of the judicial people, the prosecutors, and all this stuff to allow things to continue to go in the way that they go. They make offers that you cannot refuse. And I'm not saying that as a joke. Obviously, I'm making a reference, but this is really how it operates. And we've got plenty of evidence here that's saying this is smelling strange. Says despite his union serving as a historic symbol of the grip of organized crime on union members, as depicted in the 1954 film On the Waterfront, Mr. Daggett was acquitted in both cases. The union leader has previously criticized the Waterfront Commission, set up to combat mafia control of the port, calling the allegations of mob influence a bull excrement and a dark, ugly attack on Italian Americans. Now, this isn't the only family that's been mob family that's been associated when it comes to the ILA and the Waterfront Commission and everything that's going on. If we go back to the New York Waterfront Commission of the New York State, we can see this was in 2018. Longshoreman's application withdrawn from prejudice following charges of organized crime association. So this adds more evidence to the fact that this thing is entirely controlled by the mob. It says today the commission accepted the request of Anthony Pancini III, 43 of Brooklyn, New York, to withdraw from prejudice his application for registration as a longshoreman as a referral of the International Longshoremen's Association, Local 1814. He had faced 49 counts at an administrative hearing violating the Waterfront Commission Act. And basically what it says is the notice of hearing included allegations that Pancini had associated with the following career offenders and was convicted racketeers. So he was connected with Anthony Sonny Cinconi, who's a part of the Gambino crime family. He was also his father, Anthony Pancini, an association of the Gambino crime family, who pled guilty earlier to the U.S. District Court in New York. He is also connected to Joseph Scoops Licata, who is a part of the Philadelphia Bruno Scarfo crime family, as well as Jerry Balzano, who is a part of the Di Calvante crime family. And if we keep going, Basically, the applicant was alleged to have committed fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation by falsely testifying during a sworn interview that he never heard his father's name in connection with the local 1814 or the waterfront situation that's going on there. And if we jump down, it says facing 49 counts of violating the Waterfront Commission Act, Pansini requested the withdrawal of his prejudice of the application for registration. Today, the commission accepted the request, thereby barring Pansini from working on the ports of the New York Harbor. So we've got so many connections to different mob families, as well as connections of the mafia running the ILA, in control of the Waterfront Commission, with placing people in hierarchy levels within the ports to get this stuff done. Bribery, threatening, blackmail. We don't know exactly the details of what's going on when it comes to the justice system, offing off informants and co-defendants and all these people, finding them in the trunks of cars. And this is all in connection to what's going on with the ports. And this is all connected to who now sits as the president, who called this strike, Daggett, who has many connections to the mob as well. Now, this next part, people aren't going to like me for it, but hey, this is what's going on. Daggett, who's connected to the mob, who called the strike, who's the president of the ILA, also has another connection, which I find very interesting considering the timing of what's going on. Oh, snap. Would you look at that? Coming straight from International Longshoremen's Association, their website, says the ILA President Harold Daggett asked ILA members to pray for former President Donald Trump and victims at Saturday's Pennsylvania rally. Requires productive meeting with last November with Trump. This was posted on their website July 15th of this year, 2024. Says ILA President Harold Daggett asked ILL members to pray for former President Donald Trump and victims at Saturday's Pennsylvania rally. Recalls productive meeting last November with Trump at Mar-a-Lago and their talks about the threat of automation. Says the ILA President Daggett expressed relief that the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump was unsuccessful and called on all ILL members to pray for the victims at the Saturday rally. And if we jump down, it says ILA President Daggett enjoys a long relationship with Donald Trump going back decades in New York City. Both Trump and Daggett are the same age and were both from Queens, New York. In late November of 2023, former President Trump invited the ILA president to meet with him in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. Fascinating, especially with what we got going on and the threats to take down the economy. All the news outlets are reporting this is a giant loss for the Democrats. Do with that what you will. I just find that oddly convenient timing with that stuff. And if you guys don't know, Daggett had an interview recently, and he had some pretty scathing words to say in quite a mafia-type bravado. Check it out.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port, a lockdown. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries while they're went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
In today's world, he'll cripple you. You guys think it's about wages and automation? That sure sounds like somebody part of the mafia sitting there with his big gold chain, his bling all over his hands over there talking about, I'll cripple you. Yeah, something stinks regarding this. Convenient timing for not only the hurricane, but also the political stuff that's going on and his connections to the mob and the Trump, his threats towards us. This has nothing to do with wages. This has nothing to do with automation. There's something else going on. Now, we don't know what's going to happen a week from now. We don't know what's going to happen 2 weeks from now. We don't know what's going to happen 3 days from now. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they could get something signed, maybe shift in a direction. We don't know. Or it could never get signed. That is a possibility. This could be it when it comes to the ports and the stuff, depending on what else follows after this. Because as we can see, I talked about the title of this, The Smell of Death. And with all the stuff going on, we've just talked about 2 things so far. I got some more things that are pointing towards something big coming. We know it's October. It's not much of an October surprise anymore because everybody looks for what happens, but it's definitely in the case of a red October or a surprise of what event is going to take place. But they are preparing for big things to occur. Now, again, I'm not predicting anything. I'm not going to sit here and say we've got this much time or this is going to happen or anything. I'm just letting you guys know there's a lot of stuff all happening at the same time right now, pointing towards they're preparing for something big to happen. And so you've got the hurricane that annihilated people's lives, towns, as well as the supply roadways, the main roadways. And now you've got the dock workers that's connected to the mob, and it's shut down for who knows how long. We got some very interesting things happening. Now, another thing that's going on with this that kind of flew under the radar because of everything else that's going on, because there's just so much stuff that's going on. I think we're doing okay on time. I want to make sure we're good here. Giant biolab in Georgia went up in flames, unleashing massive toxic air into the skies. So if you guys don't know, this was in Conyers. If you're from Georgia, fill me in on how to pronounce that. Georgia. And it was a giant biolab. I got pictures here. Where are they? Here they go. Yeah, huge thing. There's different things, chlorine, and I think there's like a list of 16 different chemicals that were unleashed into the air. A whole bunch of them can do severe damage to people. And so we had officials saying shelter in place, which is interesting because all of the doctors, actual doctors that were reporting on this thing, said if you're in the area, the last thing you want to do is shelter in place. You want to get as far away from it as you possibly can. Very fascinating how the officials want you to just stay in there. It's almost like they don't give a rat's patootie about your health at all. They just want you off the road. And so, yeah, this was going up in flames, Conyers, Georgia, whole bunch of chemicals. If you guys don't know, this was Gwinnett County, 21 miles away from the fire. And they didn't put that fire out. I think it took them 26 hours total to get the fire completely out. This is 21 miles away. And that is what the sky looked like because of the biolab fire. I got a video here of the fire as well, so you guys can check this out too. It was a rager for sure. At the same time as all this other stuff going on, in the same area as the path of not directly in the path, but still in that Georgia area of all this stuff. We have all this stuff happening all at the same time. And so this was absolute, just people were getting out. They wanted to stay away. There's still people that are in that area that are saying they're not going back until the skies start clearing up, because they're actually informed of what these chemicals can do for a long period of time. There's reports of people who are in the area that said that their chest and their eyes are just burning. They're absolutely on fire because of the air that's going on down there. So this is just absolute just chaos that's been going on with all this stuff. So chlorine, bleach, other toxic chemicals, and everything going on in that area. So as we know, those chemicals can take a long time to dissipate from the air. So they're getting hit in Georgia as well. You guys be praying for these people. Absolutely be praying for everybody that's dealing with all this stuff. This is just these, and the thing is, it's like the cases themselves aren't little things, but in the grand scheme of everything else that's going on out there, these are little bits of news. You know, it's like we're focused on all these other things because there's so much stuff going on that even things like this is passing under the radar. There's really not much talk about the hurricane aftermath and what's going on with that. There's some, but there's really not much. There's not much talk about this biolab. There's not much talk about really what's going on with the dock workers. I haven't really seen much of anything when it comes to the dock workers. People aren't really aware of anything that's going on with that. These are these little things that just kind of fall under the radar, even though in the grand scheme of things, they're not so little. They really are big things. And these are leading to absolute just the dismantling of the United States right now. This is manufactured dismantling of this country, and it's going to pick up speed. We're already starting to see it pick up speed when it comes to this, and it's absolute insanity. It's insanity, man, of what's going on when it comes to this. And I see I got a few questions coming in. I'll get to the questions at the end. I just kind of want to roll through this stuff first, and then I'll get to the questions at the end. Seeing some comments from people who are actually in the region, like right here. Sarah from Northeast Tennessee, and I've never seen anything like this. I know it's picking up speed. It is absolutely picking up speed. Yeah, until everything falls apart, people will pay attention. Or yeah, once it falls apart, people will pay attention. Up until then, it's almost like, I don't know, the days of Noah, where people are just going about their daily lives like nothing else is really going on. It's almost like scripture tells us something about that. Kind of interesting that the Bible continues to get it right. Patter, they're purposely keeping under the radar. Absolutely. I believe that they are definitely keeping these things under wraps. They don't want people knowing this in a large scale type of way. But yeah, be actively praying. Be praying for everybody involved with what's going on. It's going to get worse. I know people don't like to hear that. I know people like to say that we can fix this and we can rally together, we can resist, and it's going to get worse. Things will continue. Again, I'm not trying to be a downer, because I know some people are going to start bailing out and going, oh my goodness, with the doom and gloom. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom at all. Honestly, I'm one of those people where people look at me like I'm sick in the head, because when I see this stuff, it encourages me. It actually excites me, not because of what's happening to people or anything like that. It excites me because that means we're that much closer to going home. And so I find encouragement through this stuff. And I hope you guys find encouragement through this as well. The situations themselves are absolutely horrific. I don't find enjoyment in that whatsoever. I don't. But as a Christian, when I see these things, I'm encouraged. And I think we should be as Christians as well, because we're going to be looked at by these people going, look at these Fruit Loops, look at these nut jobs, these crazy people that are, getting excited about all the destruction and devastation and all the stuff going on. But it gives us an opportunity to go, why I have this joy, this encouragement. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you how you can have that too. Let me tell you about Jesus, our only escape, our only hope at this point. Our only hope, not just at this point, but at any point, but you guys understand what I'm saying. And so when I see this stuff, man, I'm joyed. I'm filled with joy. I'm filled with encouragement because I know my Savior is coming soon to take me away from all the chaos that's coming. This is nothing compared to what's coming. This is absolutely nothing compared to what's coming. And this is the perfect time to spread the gospel, because I say this often whenever I see, the storms and stuff. I always say, pray that the Lord is glorified through this and people come to the Lord, because it's through these disasters that people seek refuge and they will find and seek out Jesus because of it. And so I think that is one of the biggest prayers that we need to say when it comes to these things, whether it's the people who have lost their homes and their and family members and pets and businesses through the hurricane, whether it's the innocent dock workers who now don't have a job because we got literally mob rule that's keeping them from working and getting a paycheck, to both sides of the innocent lives of both sides in Israel and Lebanon and Gaza and all these places, because there's innocent lives that need Jesus over there as well. It doesn't matter what it is. Be praying that somehow that they will come to the saving grace, the salvation of Jesus through the disasters that are happening. And so that's something that I believe that we absolutely need to be praying for when it comes to this. This is something that we absolutely need to be praying for when it comes to this. Okay. Now, keeping on with this disaster fest that we got going on. There's another thing that's sliding in that I'm keeping an eye on that was just introduced, which has to do with the proposal of a new constitutional amendment to replace representatives in the time of murder, assassination, killing, or mass casualty events, to instantly replace them. And so we can go to this. It says, of course, we get the propaganda terms of lawmakers, which that's not exactly, or that's not what they're supposed to be, but that's what they are now. This is lawmakers propose amendment to address mass casualty events amid rising political tension. This is a constitutional amendment has been proposed by members of the House of Representatives to address a potential mass casualty event and discourage potential attacks and assassination attempts against U.S. lawmakers. According to the Washington Post, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats in the House of Representatives have proposed a constitutional amendment that would provide continued representation for American citizens, which we haven't had that in decades, but that's what they call themselves, that would provide continued representation for American citizens in the event of a potential mass casualty incident by allowing House members to be quickly replaced. Lawmakers have argued that the amendment would discourage people from committing violent acts to change the House's balance of power. What they're saying is the only thing that this is going to change is the citizens aren't going to want to take these people out. No, they themselves are going to use this to take out their opponents so they can replace them with somebody else that will go along with the club and the agenda that they want to do. That's what it is. This is shifting from citizen violence to their own violence. It says we've seen 300% increase in threats against members over the last 7 years, according to the Capitol Police Representative Derek Kilmer, Democrat Washington. Recently, he's the one that put this into proposal. He recently said, in an environment where we have been there's seen a growing tendency towards political violence, imagine horrifically a baseball practice where someone has bad intentions and better aim. You can literally flip a majority for 3 to 4 months, which I think is a frightening incentive for political violence. The Washington Post reported that while Senate vacancies can be filled with temporary appointments, the U.S. Constitution currently requires that all vacancies in the House be filled by an election. Or just put in a little scribble S there now, even though that's not what the Constitution says, but that's how it operates now. The outlet noted that a survey of state election officials revealed that states typically need 3 or 4 months to hold a special election to fill vacancies. Kilmer warned, that's actually a really long time to have a vacancy if you're in the midst of a national crisis. And they continue to make more and more crises to push along the agenda that they want to do. We'll just read this before I continue. Okay, it says the proposed amendment, which is also supported by Representatives Brad Wenstrup of Ohio, William Timmons of South Carolina, Emmanuel Cleaver II of Mo. Is that Montana? Is it Mo Montana? I'm bad with the little things. I can't even remember what they're called now. Man, I'm just making myself look real smart over here. I'm a pretty smart fella. Would require each member of the House to give at least 5 assets is Missouri. Okay, we'll go Missouri. That sounds right. Okay. At least 5 names from their political party to their state's governor that would be used to determine an interim appointee who would be selected within 10 days of a representative's death. The appointee would serve until a special election could be held. This is during a recent Committee on House Administration subcommittee hearing on the proposed amendment. Wenstrup urged Congress to consider the proposal as a way to remove any incentive for individuals to engage in political violence to change the balance of power in Washington, according to the Washington Post. Wenstrup pointed to the congressional baseball team attack in 2017 as an evidence of the need for the amendment. A violent domestic terrorist attempted to assassinate Republican members of Congress, Wenstrup said. He had names in his pocket, descriptions in his pocket. This was a clear assassination attempt, and he decided to use the murder or assassination as a tool for political change. He wanted to wipe out the Republican majority and change the balance of power. There's so many ways that this could be used for what they want to do, especially when you add this on to just a couple months ago. They basically granted dictatorial immunity to presidents now. You start throwing this in where they can just take out whoever they want and instantly fill it with somebody else. They're prepping for something. They are getting ready for something. I can't sit here and tell you what that is. Nobody can. If they say that they can, they're full of duty. But they're prepping for something. It's clear as day when we look at the moves that they've been making in a very short period of time, all at the same time frame. Now, you can see here, this is the actual proposal that they put through. I pointed out the first 2 sections. There's only 3 sections in it, but the first 2 are really what we need to pay attention to. It says Section 1, immediately after taking the oath of office, an individual who is elected to serve as a representative in the House of Representatives shall provide the House of Representatives with a list of at least 5 designees to take the individual's place in the event the individual dies prior to the expiration of the individual's term of office. The individual shall ensure that the list only contains the names of designees who meet the qualifications for service as a representative in the House of Representatives. So again, make a list of 5 people that we can puppet around. And if there's somebody who's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, just take them out, fill in the spot with a new puppet, and just keep it rolling. This is not only a backup plan for if somebody doesn't want to play the game, but this is a threat for others saying, we can now take you out very quickly and continue on like you were never there. And so people will fall in line because that's how Congress works. It's a bunch of con men. It's a bunch of puppets reading a script on how to do this stuff. Section 2 says, in the event of the death of a representative, the chief executive of the state involved shall not later than 10 days after the date of the death of the representative select an individual from the most recent list of designees provided by the representative whose seat is now vacant, as provided by Section 1. And the Speaker of the House shall, which we know he's a giant puppet too, shall immediately fill the vacancy with the individual selected. An individual designated to take the place of a representative shall serve until another member is elected to fill the vacant pursuant to a special election. So they're just preparing, man. They're getting this stuff ready for whatever they have. Whatever they got cooking up, whatever they got planned, some type of, again, blackmail threat type of situation, a backup in case somebody doesn't want to play ball. They can just change them out real quick to mass casualty event, whatever that may be. We don't know. We know something is coming, especially since if you just go back a few years ago, this was back in 2021, but or officially came out in 2017, but they've been working on loading up non-military agencies with weapons and ammo. We've even seen that they bought like full-on military armament for the IRS and all these groups out there as well. They are prepping for mass casualty. They're absolutely prepping for mass casualty. And again, this is the dismantling of the United States. We are the last thing that needs to go before things start going. There is a reason why America is not mentioned in the end. We need to become so insignificant that God did not find it necessary to even mention us in the end. And that includes not being Babylon, by the way. Just throwing that out there. It doesn't fit. And so they're going to continue to do this. And so along with prepping for mass casualty events, we've got FEMA teaming up with the NFL to make stadiums disaster ready for civilians. It says your favorite, this was September 26th of 2024. It says your favorite football stadium could also become a disaster shelter if the need arises. The National Football League is alongside the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Remember, the ones who are actually keeping people from helping fellow Americans after the hurricane, are launching a strategy to make stadiums accessible spaces for people in need during extreme weather crises. The strategy is initiated through Mission Ready Venues, the formal title of the public-private partnership between the NFL and FEMA. Designated venues will be eligible to serve as emergency shelters, staging areas, commodity distribution sites, evacuation pickup points, disaster recovery centers, mass stuff injection sites, and testing, as well as temporary hospitals when the need arises. It says all NFL stadiums have not been designated for this service yet. So far, the following stadiums fall under the jurisdiction of mission-ready venues. You got MetLife Stadium, who's the New York Giants and Jets. Lumen Field, which is Seattle Seahawks. Acrisure Stadium, which is Pittsburgh Steelers. James Stadium, which is the Buccaneers. SoFi Stadium, which is San Diego Chargers and LA Rams, is under review to become an eligible venue as well. Now, if we go over here to the actual FEMA website, it says MetLife Stadium to become a mission-ready venue, serving as a vital location during disasters and part of NFL and FEMA's national security to make venues missions capable during disasters. It says stadiums and venues provide a central and accessible location to help communities respond to extreme weather crises, providing safe storage and shelters in time of need. With these events becoming more frequent, severe, and expensive. Yeah, I wonder why that is. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell and NFL Chief Security Officer Kathy Lanier today announced that MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, home of the Jets and Giants, will be among the first NFL venues to be designated as mission-ready venue that can be used during response and recovery missions. Though mission-ready venues, a public-private partnership, MetLife Stadium will increase its capabilities to better sustain public safety, as well as be a source of support for the community they serve. And if we keep going, during large-scale emergencies like COOF stuff in 2020, hurricanes, tornadoes, we've seen how large music, sports, and entertainment venues can serve this as a safe space. It's everybody's safe space. All the alphabet people are going to love that. That's my safe space for communities, said FEMA Administrator Criswell. This new strategy we're launching with the NFL is a groundbreaking opportunity to help our partners use these venues for emergency response and recovery needs while keeping communities safe and more resilient. The last thing the government does is keep people safe. That's clear. If we jump down, this is according to the NYU School of Professional Studies and the U.S. Conference of Mayors, stadiums and arenas can improve public health and well-being of their communities during like the 2020 COOF response. Collaborating with our federal counterparts with the NFL to designate MetLife Stadium on a mission-ready venue for disasters highlights the critical step in strengthening our state's emergency preparedness. So it just keeps going with this stuff. Provide safety and security, provide accessibility, strengthen community resilience, ensure unity of effort, and so on and so forth. You guys kind of get the idea of what's going on with that. But that's another element that we're not necessarily paying attention to anymore like we were before because of all the stuff. What's the next thing gonna be? What's the next health thing going to be? You know they got something coming. You know something big is coming, and you know that this one's actually going to be dangerous this time. This is going to be one that's actually going to play a part when it comes to this. Keep in mind, I can't necessarily say it on here because it's one of the topics that YouTube will instantly take down. I've already dealt with it before. But there was a certain report that came out in 2014. The organization that put it out starts with a D, that made the prediction, the forecast, as they say, that in 2025, the United States population will decrease 68.5%. How? Why? Will it actually come true? Well, a lot of things seem to be pointing towards 2025. We understand Alice Bailey, who was one of the leaders with the UN, and her teachings and proteges are still in control of the UN, pointed towards 2025. We got the report, 2025. We've got the new, whoever's selected for 2025. We've got, if you want to start getting into the mystical, you've got the Raeliism guys who are saying that the next Elohim is supposed to touch down in 2025, which we can view that as possibly being the Antichrist. Who knows? We don't know. But that's what they're claiming, is saying in October of 2025. Everything is pointing towards this 2025 situation. We see what's going on all around the world when it comes to World War III. That seems to be indicating, I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying indicating that 2025. Everything seems to be pointing towards that date. A lot of things. So I find it fascinating, again, that in a very short period of time, all these things about mass casualty events and tearing down and dismantling infrastructure in the United States, halting supplies, getting laws and amendments and FEMA stuff in line. Keep in mind, FEMA is still in contract with places like Walmart as well as malls. If you want to get into, I think it's Simmons Property. They've got a contract with all the malls. If you notice after 2020, how many malls currently sit empty right now. You guys think that wasn't part of this as well? No, they've got them cleared out and ready to go. All they got to do is just go in and set them up for their camps. These are death camps that they're setting up. NFL stadiums, baseball stadiums, these malls, all this stuff. They are getting ready for something big. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say that I know what it is. I'm not going to say when or if it happens. But from the indicators that we're seeing, and what the scriptures tell us is coming, it seems that we're getting ready for the big one to go off. But again, I hold to Matthew 24 that we're going to get taken out before any of that stuff really starts going through the roof. And along with that, when we want to talk about wars, as well as the advancement of the beast system and advancing killing, the smell of death, we're noticing that there's been an increase when it comes to military stuff as well. And so we've got Palantir who won $100 million US contract for its AI targeting tech. Keep in mind, if you guys don't remember, if you haven't seen it, go check out my episode called The Trump Card. I break down how Palantir is in full control of Peter Thiel, who's connected to JD Vance as well as Trump and Elon Musk and the military industrial complex and the beast system and facial recognition and biometric stuff and all this type of equipment and programs and technology as well. But we got another contract here for Palantir Technologies, who won a $100 million contract that will extend access to artificial intelligence targeting tools to more U.S. military personnel, giving them access to the company's digital warfare platform. The platform, known as Maven Smart System, I've talked about this in the past. They've already been using it, but this is to make it more widespread now. I'll explain what it is in a second. Helps create a picture of the same battlefield on thousands of digital screens simultaneously. It draws on U.S. intelligence data and uses computer vision algorithms and AI-enabled software from other companies to help make sense of a situation and to find adversaries. The U.S. military has used the system to help identify targets for airstrikes in the Middle East this year, Bloomberg has reported. Shannon Clark, head of the defense growth at Palantir, said that the contract would extend access to Maven Smart System to all 5 U.S. military services: the Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, and Space Force. It's still a joke to me. It's not a joke, but it just Space Force. It's just... Anyways, expanding the platform to tens of thousands more service members. It says selected units in specific locations so far have had access to the system, she said. Palantir in May won a $480 million contract to extend Maven Smart System to combatant commands which run military operations in specific locations. Maven, which relies on multiple contractors and AI providers alongside Palantir, started as a project in 2017 and is now a program of record, mostly run by the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. The Defense Department has released little information about how Maven is used operationally. Bloomberg has reported that the U.S. has relied on it to offer targeting support to Ukraine, as well as for American operations in Yemen, Iraq, and Sudan. So, I don't know like the exact details because they didn't give the exact details, but it's similar to, if you guys don't know, I did reports on this as well. Israel has a couple programs called Lavender, Project Lavender, as well as another one called The Gospel, which again, I hate that they use that title for it. But these work in conjunction for allowing AI to see all areas of the battlefield, give a 360 detailed report with all the information and video and intelligence that they have of certain targets. And AI will specifically use algorithms and predictions to identify targets at like precise locations. And all the person has to do is just press a button and the program will launch the munition over there, or the jets, or, you know, give targeting to the military to go and take out a specific thing. This is how they've been able to take out 100 targets a day over there in the Middle East, the US or the IDF, how they're able to do that. They're basically handing the keys to human life to AI ultimately. And this is what Project Maven is. For the most part. Again, I don't know all the inner workings. We don't really know that the details. But from what I know about the program is it kind of runs the same way. It's used to find precise target locations, and you just press the button and off it goes, and you take a human life. I have warned about this, that you start handing the keys to human life over to AI, and it's going to get to the point where human life is just going to continue to dwindle in the eyes of other humans. We're just things now, and AI is now in the game of taking life. And this is the dangers of allowing AI to enter into military operations like this. I've warned against it. It's basically an assassination factory. It's a murder factory, AI, and this is what we got going on. Keep in mind, this is Peter Thiel, who's connected to all of this stuff. Keep in mind that this is he's part of this Manhattan Projects, that the Trump camp wants to do, which is increasing AI, artificial intelligence, and energy, not only to restrict us citizens in the United States, but also to increase military expenditure as well. And so all of this stuff is going in that direction. And we're going to start seeing more and more death, because now we have such a simple way to kill people. There's really no other way to put it. We have such a simple way to kill people. Human life means nothing anymore. It hardly meant anything to these people now, but now that they got AI, wait until the drones start coming out on civilians. Wait until the dogs, the robo dogs, start walking the streets. This is just, yeah, man. The smell of death. The smell of death surrounds you, to say the least. Keeping with Palantir, we now got Microsoft teaming up with Palantir to on artificial intelligence and national security push. It says this is coming out. This was a little bit earlier. This was August. It says Palantir Technologies on Thursday, and this is again August, said they will partner to sell artificial intelligence-based data analytics products and services to the U.S. defense and intelligence agencies. Palantir stock rose on the news. Keep in mind, Palantir also runs surveillance system in the United States, so all of our data that they have collected is being pushed into the U.S. defense system in order to advance their stuff as well. So they're using our data to advance military equipment and data and all that. Palantir Data's and analytics software and artificial intelligence platform will be offered through Microsoft Azure cloud computing services. Also, Palantir will be an early adopter of Azure's open AI service and Microsoft's government and classified cloud environments, the company said. Further, Microsoft has integrated startup OpenAI's large language models into the Azure cloud computing platform. So it's Palantir and OpenAI, as well as Microsoft's own languages and stuff. They're creating one giant AI system, utilizing all these different companies, the main guys' companies' data. It says, meanwhile, Palantir's artificial intelligence use case building capabilities that will help enable operators to safely and responsibly build AI-driven operational workloads across defense and intelligence verticals, from logistics to contracting to prioritization and action planning and more, the two companies said. Again, they take all of this data, all of our data, put it into the AI system, feed it over to the U.S. military and defense contractors, and they use that data in order to increase the ability of their own AI, which makes it much easier to find, target, recognize, and kill not only opposition, but eventually, I believe it'll be used against us. And I firmly believe that that's coming and will be used against us. Now, coming along with that, Microsoft is teaming up with BlackRock, Global Infrastructure Partners, and MGX to launch a new AI partnership to invest in data centers and supporting power infrastructure. This is coming September 17th of this year. This is a $100 billion investment potential will enhance American competitiveness in AI while meeting the growing need for energy infrastructure to power and economic growth. Keep in mind, everything that they just listed so far on this is the same stuff that Trump has been pushing in his stuff as well, along with the Democrats as well. That was something I was going to get to, which we'll get to on Saturday. We don't have time tonight, but they're increasing AI systems as well. So both sides going for the same development. Interesting. So it says the drive to develop more powerful AI capabilities will require significant infrastructure investment to support it. Today, BlackRock, Global Infrastructure Partners, Microsoft, and MGX announced the Global AI Infrastructure Investment Partnership to make investments in new and expanded data centers to meet growing demands for computing power, as well as energy infrastructures to create new sources of power for the facilities. These infrastructure investments will be chiefly in the United States, fueling AI innovation and economic growth, and the remainder will be invested in U.S. partner countries. No idea who those people are. Wonder if one of them's Ukraine. Just saying. Partnership will support an open architecture and broad ecosystem, providing full access on a non-exclusive basis for a diverse range of partners and companies. NVIDIA will support the GAIIP, offering its expertise in AI data centers and AI factories to benefit the AI ecosystem. They will also actively engage with industry leaders to help advance AI supply chains and energy sourcing for the benefits of the industry. The partnership will initially seek to unlock $30 billion in private equity capital over time from investors, asset owners, corporates, which in turn will mobilize up to $100 billion in total investment as well. So this is all about increasing data centers, data collection for the AI programs and ecosystem, as well as energy to serve it, to keep it going forward. So this is an escalation in the beast system. This is an escalation in data collection. This is an escalation in AI, and it's all going to be used for whatever they so choose, restricting us, predicting us, studying us, and military operations as well. So I thought I would go ahead and let you guys know about that as well. It just keeps on going, guys. And last but not least, I don't have any notes on it, but yeah, talk about the escalation of what's going on in the Middle East. I kind of touched on it when we went over the Maven stuff of what's going on, but clearly we have an escalation of what's happening over there. As we know, Israel took out the leader, Hezbollah leader, Nasrallah. They found a replacement already. Is it his, I can't remember. Is it his brother? He's related somehow, I think. I don't exactly remember his name, but I believe he's related. Could be wrong. But they found a replacement to take over, but still, they pretty much dismantled the hierarchy when it comes to the Hezbollah leadership over there. They've started going in southern Lebanon. They got tanks rolling around in southern Lebanon as well. They struck Yemen, taking out more targets in there. And then just recently, we had the another barrage. I believe the first one was April, I believe. And then we had another barrage from Iran with their missiles into Israel as well. No casualties reported from what I've seen on that, but clearly there's an escalation. I'm not into predictions. I'm not into speculation. You can go pretty much anywhere else and they'll give you their predictions and speculation. I'm not into that type of stuff, but I would not be surprised if Israel gets ready to go after the nuclear program in Iran and hit it hard. But again, that's just what I'm looking for. I think that'll be the escalation stage. We've got Russia already basically saying Israel needs to pull out of Lebanon. Otherwise, but again, these countries will not make moves without the permission to make moves. That's the big thing that we got to understand. All the players in the game right now are controlled. They are controlled op. Putin, Iran, was it Raisi, Netanyahu. These guys are all in the club. They're being told what they can and can't do when the time comes. And so we're waiting to see what's going to happen. I still hold to Freemason Albert Pike with the 3 world wars, where he says World War III is going to kick off in the Middle East. I still believe that that's going to happen with that, but they're paving the way for prophetic events to happen. Isaiah 17, Ezekiel 38, possibly Psalm 83. If you guys know me, I don't lean one way or the other. Don't send me emails saying that you have proof it's one way or the other. I've seen all the arguments. I'm not planting my flag. I'm sitting and waiting to see what happens. So don't even type at me. But if it is a future event, then this could pave the way for that as well. And so we just got to see what's going to happen. But escalation is happening at the same time as all the other stuff that I talked about. The smell of death surrounds us. Things are absolutely increasing quickly. Now, keep in mind that we've seen stuff increase, and then we kind of get another lull. So don't be disappointed. I want to make sure, don't get disappointed if all of a sudden we got a couple weeks where we're just lulling again, because that can happen. This stuff has happened where things escalate all at the same time really quick, and we're like, here we go. And then it drops down and lulls for a little bit, and then it starts going again. So just keep in mind, don't set yourself up for disappointment. This is a time when a lot of people can set themselves up for disappointment and depression because they expect everything to go full force now when things can lull again. So we just got to wait. We just got to relax. Again, we are to watch, we are to warn, but at the same time, we are to be looking for Jesus. We're not to be looking for the Antichrist. We're not to be looking for all this stuff to happen. Again, we watch and we warn, but ultimately we keep our eyes on Jesus, and we continue to be busy with what the Lord wants us to do, which is the 2 commandments, which I always talk about. We share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we warn people of what is coming. If we continue to keep focused on the Lord and keep focused on those 2 commandments that we're told to do in our generation, we won't be setting ourselves up for disappointment. We won't be setting ourselves up for depression. We just keep busy. And then, boom. I was hoping it would happen then, but boom, we'll be taken out of here. So I just want to go ahead and just remind you guys, just kind of just chill. Again, lulls can happen. You got street bikes. Driving on the road can also happen. But yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't set ourselves up for disappointment. All right, questions. We're actually doing pretty good on time. I'm glad. All right. Vindog, who's seeding the clouds? Man, a whole bunch of people, man. We have cloud seeding. We've got frequency blasting. We've got energy boosting. All these different groups out there do various different ways to manipulate weather, start earthquakes, which get these tsunamis going, and all this type of stuff. NORAD is one of the big ones where they got their radar stuff where they send out pulses, frequency pulses into the air, which causes the stuff to start rolling. So yeah, there's various different ways and organizations that are all manipulating weather on this. Who actually did the Helene thing, which again, I believe that was manufactured. I don't know. But from what I saw, it wasn't natural how that formed. Neardo Andrew, question: what does destroying the infrastructure, giving aid to the enemy, raising taxes, and shutting off imports sound like? I don't know what it sounds like, but I can tell you what it looks like. We just talked about it tonight. I'm pretty sure that was a sarcastic, hyperbole type of question there, Neardo. But we just talked about what it looks like. That's for sure. Asset Ministries question: so could the longshoremen let nuclear weapons into the country? I believe they could. I believe they already have. So they can also get in chemical compounds, which can go boom as well. So yes, when you have mafia groups that are in control of imports and exports like that, they can absolutely be used to get things in and out as they so choose. So yes, they absolutely could. Asset for sure. Tony Scott question: is Trump peddling crypto via World Liberty Financial? That is the basically the digital coin that him and his kids have been orchestrating. They said he said he wants to make America the crypto capital of the world, and he says he wants to make America first in AI. People don't realize that he is fully in pushing to install the beast system programs. The agenda, he's been saying it. His own mouth has been saying it, and you have all the Trump people going, yay! And these are the same Trump people who have been warning for the past several years about how horrific this stuff is. But yet, because Trump says it, then it's all good. So yeah, he's fully in that. That's part of his group, and he's pushing it big time. Again, he's in the club. People refuse to accept it, but He's in the club. So vote for your own enslavement, even though your vote doesn't mean anything. Garrett Hoffer, is it Hofer? My question is, how is this an October deal if when they walk, they can be ordered back to work for 90 days? Seems like they should have walked 3 months ago to affect October. Again, see, when we have the, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not attacking you in any type of way, but again, when we have the, when we take information and apply it to what we assume to be planned, we can start getting confused on what's going on. Again, when we look at this could be something that they're getting in preparation for later date if they do get ordered back to do it. So again, we would look at this and go, well, if it's supposed to be for October, but they're saying that it won't be for October, then how does that work? Well, nobody said it was going to be for October. We're just assuming that it's supposed to be October because we're programmed to have the October surprise. This could be something that they're getting in preparation for a later date. And again, we don't even know if it's something that's going to last. Tomorrow, I highly doubt it, but tomorrow they could go and sign the contract and be back working. So again, it's just one of those things where we just have to watch and wait and see what happens and try not to assume things. That's the biggest thing when we get into, you know, assumptions, when we get into predicting, when we get into speculation, that can cause confusion when if we're not just looking at the facts of what's going on. So again, they could be preparing for something in the future. We just got to wait and see. There's many different outcomes that can come from this. Many different outcomes that can come from this. Vinda, question, don't you believe that they're going to make these conditioning centers? I think you mean concentration camps. I think that's what you're thinking, or death camps. Yeah, absolutely. Like the stadiums and the malls and stuff. Yeah, I went over that. That's basically what it is. They're just getting stuff set up for it. Patrick Starr, how many YouTube comments are actually bots? I'm thinking it's closer to 70-80% that are fakes, but it depends on what channel you go on. Like mine, I've had maybe 2-3 in the past 6 months. So it just depends on what channel you go on to. There's definitely a lot of bots. If you go back, I don't think I have the video up anymore. But I did something like 2.5 years ago, where when the Ukraine stuff was going on, there was actually more pro-Ukraine bots than pro-Russia bots that were on social media, even though the media was reporting that it was all pro-Russia bots, and the pro-Ukraine bots actually outnumbered the pro-Russia bots. So they're out there. It just depends on where you go and what channel and all that type of stuff. Nicole Sterling, did you see the Somalia officer that is a non-citizen get sworn in as the police officer in Minnesota? I did see that. Be prepared to start seeing more of that. Again, when you start letting in these outsiders, these foreigners, you start letting them in, they're going to start taking over positions of authority. At first, they're just going to start taking over the smaller positions, but then they're going to start taking over positions of authority. And then when things go south, there's going to be no emotional response. They're just, if they're going to be told to take out American citizens, they're not going to think anything of it because they're not like you. So yes, it's part of the replacement that's going on. But yeah, I saw that. Prepared to start seeing that happen more. Design and Deb, question, what stadiums are open in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, etc.? From the list I saw, I don't think there's any stadiums there that are on the list. So I don't think that those are open there yet. If you're talking about the NFL stuff. So I can pull that up. Let me see here. Where's the list? So you got MetLife Stadium, you got Lumen Field, that's Seattle, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and then they're getting ready to do the LA one. So yeah, there's no stadiums that have been approved for that one yet. And then let's see, we got Tracy Tracy Donovan, sorry. What are your thoughts on Damascus being destroyed? Well, I believe that it's a future coming event. I don't believe that it happened in the past because it currently still stands as a city. And so that would mean that it did not fulfill prophecy, which said it would be inhabitable. It's inhabited now. So I believe it's a coming future event. I believe it's something we could see while we're still here. I believe it's something that we may not see while we're still here. This is an interesting wild card. It could be a precursor to kicking off Ezekiel 38. It could be something that happens in the middle of Ezekiel 38. I know a lot of people. I used to be one of those people when I read through the prophecy that many people believe that it'll happen overnight. In like a single night. After I went and did some study on it, it's not something that needs to happen overnight. I don't have anything to pull up and discuss that right now. I already know there's going to be people telling me I'm wrong. That's fine. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time. But if you go and you study it and you take away the breaks that aren't actually there in the proper scripture, you'll see that it can actually happen over a period of time. So it's something that may not happen immediately. Something that I still think is currently sitting there. If you guys go back several years ago, there was the port explosion in Beirut from the ammonium nitrate shipment that was sitting there. That only took out 2/5 of the supply. I believe they could have moved it. This has been a long time, but I've kind of tracked it and followed it. I believe that the rest of that nitrate could, in fact, be sitting in Damascus, which could play a part to absolutely destroying, annihilating the city. So that could play a part on that. But yeah, so again, it's kind of a wild card. The only thing that I can 100% firmly say is it is a future prophecy because, again, it has not been fulfilled. If it's still standing there to this day, it's still inhabited. So it's a coming event, and we'll see what happens on that. But yeah, I think it's coming. When it happens, nobody knows. See, that's the thing with the prophecy, man. We know the prophecies are coming. We just don't necessarily know when they're going to happen. So very interesting. And last but not least, we have the peanut gallery. Stephanie, always finishing off the night with something funny, a little lightheartedness. Stephanie, question: why doesn't glue stick to the inside of the bottle? Well, see, there's a very interesting. Oops, just hit my mic. Sorry. People wearing headphones were like, ha. Hold on, Stephanie. I don't want to. Hold on, just give me a second. I saw this. I think it's kind of interesting. Wendy J, what about the Euphrates River? That is a part of the bowl judgments, which will happen at the Great Tribulation, which is happens midpoint of Daniel's 70th week. I know many people who look at the Euphrates River right now and go, look, prophecies being fulfilled. No, that one is specifically stated to be a bowl judgment, and we are not there yet. We wouldn't jump to, I think it's like the third or the fourth bowl judgment or something like that. I can't remember which one it is, but we wouldn't jump over there for that one prophecy, the rest not be fulfilled, and then jump back, especially since it happens at the midpoint. So, yeah, that's what's happening to the Euphrates River right now, especially if you want to look into it. There's a lot of man-made dams and stuff that are blocking water as well. So that doesn't fulfill prophecy either. So I just saw that and I wanted to address that. Okay, Stephanie, why doesn't the glue stick to the inside of the bottle? Well, what you don't realize and what glue companies don't tell you, you want to talk about conspiracy theories. Is glue companies actually develop a different type of glue called anti-glue. And then they coat the inside of the bottles with anti-glue. So when they fill it with the regular glue, it doesn't stick to the bottle. Yeah. Amazing, right? Gotta adjust that tinfoil hat of yours. All right, guys. That's all I got when it comes to that. But of course, like we always do, we always end with the gospel of Jesus Christ, the most important part. When we have the smell of death that is surrounding us, like right now, when we have the smell of death, again, I know it's not an uplifting title, and the stuff that we talk about isn't uplifting. We have to remember that this should be encouragement for all those who have their salvation in Jesus Christ, for us who are firmly written in the book of life, who are sealed by the Holy Spirit, who have the promise of the blessed hope. We should be looking at this stuff and being encouraged because we're so close. We don't know when. We have absolutely no idea. Don't listen to all those people that say they've unlocked some secret thing in scripture or a calendar or some extra biblical book or anything like that. The Bible is explicitly clear. Nobody knows. And so we will not know, but we will know the season, and we can get so excited to go home. But for those who don't have that encouragement, that don't have that promise, that aren't sealed by the Holy Spirit, that don't have salvation that can be only found through Jesus Christ, we need to go out there and tell them about it. And we can tell them about the gospel of Jesus so simply with the ABCs of salvation. A, we admit that we are sinners. We admit that we sin, that we fall short, that we are not good. Nobody is good, only Jesus Christ. Through the act of repentance, we turn from self to Jesus. It grants us understanding of why we need Jesus Christ. Because how can we believe in Jesus Christ as our Savior if we don't know why we need Jesus Christ as our Savior? We have to have that understanding that we fall short and only Jesus can save us. So we admit that we're a sinner. The act of repentance grants us true belief in Jesus Christ. We believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only begotten Son of God, that he came down 100% man, 100% God, the God-man, and lived the perfect, sinless life, the only one to do so, which means he was the only one qualified to take the sins of the world upon his shoulders and be crucified upon the cross. We can't do that. We are not good. We are not perfect. We are not sinless. Only he was and is. And so he took the sins of the world and he was crucified upon the cross. And because there's blood in the power, or because there's power in the blood of Jesus Christ, because he prophesied that he would, because he promised that he would, because he said that he would, he defeated death and he rose again on the third day. For all who believe in Jesus Christ shall not perish, but live forever in his presence and in his glory. Keep in mind, though, remember that knowing and believing are two very different things. See, we have this modern church, this false modern gospel nowadays that says, hey, just read the story, just listen to the story, and you're good. Go out there, recite this prayer, say a few words, and you're good. You're saved. Go live your life like you normally would, and you're all good. You're a Christian. See, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. We have to truly believe and place our trust in Jesus. And then C, is just call upon the Lord. After you truly believe, you call upon the Lord. Just, Lord Jesus, I am a sinner, and I have sinned, and I need you alone to save me, Lord Jesus. I believe that you are the one and only begotten Son of God, that you came down and lived the perfect sinless life, that you died upon the cross, and that you rose again on the third day. Lord Jesus, come into my life, come into my heart, and save me. Amen. Amen. If you don't have Jesus, you have death. And that smell of death is going to get much stronger than it ever will for those who do have Jesus, because we have life. The death that we smell is the death of a dying world. For those who don't have Jesus, the death that they smell is the death of their own life. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. That is all I got. Yes. Good stuff. So, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe. Get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. And that's what we need to be busy doing. That's what we need to stay focused on. And liking, sharing, and subscribing does help reach those people who are lost, have questions, and ultimately need Jesus Christ. So if you guys can do me a solid, like, share, subscribe, that'd be great. Also, if you guys can, follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. If we get booted off YouTube, we'll be back live streaming on Rumble. Of course, we're multi-streaming to YouTube, Rumble, and the website right now, but just in case. And then Odyssey is an emergency platform there just in case we get booted off of everything. Hopefully we never have to use it, but it is there just in case. So if you have an account, you might as well follow me there. And on Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw some stuff up there as I feel like it. Deal with it. So if you got an account, Telegram account, go ahead and follow me there. And then, of course, we got the WretchedWatchmen.com website. It's up and running. That's your one-stop shop for all your questions, announcements, and finding other things and stuff on there. So go ahead and bookmark that page. That's if you're not sure what's going on, I'm not streaming, I didn't announce anything, you'll probably find it there. Do my best to make sure I update that. Tomorrow is the first Wednesday of the month, which means noon central. Bobblehead Adventures episode will be released. So it's just a time for us to stop for 5 minutes in a crazy, insane world and get a little laugh in. Because if we're not laughing, we'd be crying. So be on the lookout for that. And then last but not least, if you guys would like to support what I do, support this channel, allow me to keep going and doing what I'm doing, I got donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, and GiveSendGo. My channel's not monetized. I'm not partnered with anything. I don't sell anything. I don't do any of that stuff. Everything is free as I think it should be. So if you guys want to help me keep this going and do what I do, those links are below. Thank you guys for your support and your prayers, your donations, your gifts, your encouragement, and your patience with me. So thank you guys. But that's it. That's all I got. Get your heathenic booties out of here. Go out into the world, share the gospel of Jesus and the hope that only he has, that you have through him. And yeah, if the Lord does not come back by Saturday, same time, same place, I'll meet you guys right back here. All right. Peace out. Maranatha.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.